Beneath the colossal walls of Hattusa, as the sun dipped below the Anatolian mountains, the city transformed into a realm of shadows and secrets. The air was thick with the scent of burning incense and the distant echo of ritual drums. In these ancient streets, every stone seemed to whisper stories of forbidden knowledge and hidden power. What truly happened behind the gates of the Hittite capital? Imagine walking through the torchlit corridors of Hattusa at night. The city, once the heart of a mighty empire, was alive with mysteries. Priests in elaborate masks moved silently through the darkness, their footsteps echoing on the cold stone. They carried sacred relics, amulets, scrolls, and objects said to hold the power of the gods themselves. Some believe these priests were not just men, but intermediaries between the mortal world and the divine, guardians of secrets that could change the fate of empires. In the heart of Hattusa stood the Great Temple, a place where the veil between worlds was said to be thin. Here, the high priestess invoked the sun goddess Irina, her chants rising into the night sky. The temple walls were covered in ancient cuneiform, each symbol a fragment of a forgotten prophecy. Flickering torchlight revealed murals of gods and monsters, epic battles, and rituals lost to time. Some say that, on certain nights, the gods themselves descended to walk among mortals, their presence felt in the sudden chill of the air and the strange lights that danced above the city. But the power of the Hittites was not only spiritual. Deep within the city, hidden from prying eyes, blacksmiths worked in secret forges. The clang of hammer on iron echoed through underground tunnels as the Hittites forged weapons that seemed almost magical to their enemies. The secret of ironworking was guarded with fanatical devotion. Only a chosen few knew the rituals required to transform raw into weapons of war. Some legends claim that the first iron sword was forged with the help of a fallen star, a gift from the heavens that gave the Hittites an unbeatable edge in battle. The city itself was a marvel of ancient engineering. Massive stone walls, intricate gates guarded by lions and sphinxes, and a network of underground passages designed to protect the city's most sacred secrets. Archaeologists have uncovered tablets describing hidden chambers, secret meetings, and rituals performed far from the eyes of the common people. Were these rituals? Were they simple prayers, or something far more dangerous? Ceremonies meant to summon the power of the gods, or perhaps to bind darker forces beneath the earth. Life in Hattusa was a delicate balance between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. The king, believed to be chosen by the gods, ruled with absolute authority. Yet even he was subject to the will of the priests and the omens they interpreted. Every major decision, from war to peace, from harvest to sacrifice, was guided by signs from the heavens. The flight of birds, the patterns of the stars, the dreams of the high priestess, all were believed to carry messages from the divine. But not all was harmony within the city's walls. Whispers of conspiracy and betrayal drifted through the royal court. Spies and informants moved in the shadows, their true loyalties known only to the gods. Some say that secret societies operated within Hattusa, their members sworn to protect forbidden knowledge at any cost. Others believe that the priests themselves held the real power, manipulating kings and generals from behind the scenes. The rituals performed in the Great Temple were shrouded in secrecy. Only the highest-ranking priests and priestesses were allowed to witness the most sacred ceremonies. Outsiders who tried to learn these secrets often vanished without a trace, their names erased from history. What did these rituals involve? Ancient texts speak of offerings to the gods, grain, wine, animals, and sometimes even more sinister sacrifices. The goal was always the same: to maintain the favor of the gods and ensure the survival of the empire. Yet, for all their devotion, the Hittites lived in constant fear of divine wrath. Omens of disaster were taken with deadly seriousness. A failed harvest, a solar eclipse, or a strange dream could send the entire city into panic. Priests would perform elaborate ceremonies to appease the gods, burning incense, chanting prayers, and making offerings in the hope of averting catastrophe. Some believed that the gods demanded blood, and that only through sacrifice could the balance be restored. As night deepened over Hattusa, the city became a place of shadows and whispers. In hidden chambers, priests consulted ancient tablets, seeking guidance from the past. The flickering light revealed faces tense with worry, eyes searching for signs in the smoke and flame. Outside, the people of Hattusa prayed for protection, their voices rising into the darkness, hoping that the gods were listening. But beneath the surface, darker forces stirred. Some believed that the priests had unlocked powers beyond their control, summoning spirits or entities from other realms. Strange lights were seen in the sky, and unexplained phenomena plagued the city. Was this the work of the gods, or something far more mysterious? The line between faith and fear, between ritual and magic, was thin, and those who crossed it risked everything. The daily life of the Hittites was a tapestry woven with both the mundane and the mystical. In the bustling markets, merchants traded goods from distant lands: copper, tin, lapis lazuli, and rare spices. Children played in the shadow of ancient temples, their laughter echoing through the narrow streets. Artisans crafted intricate jewelry and pottery, their hands guided by traditions passed down through generations. Yet, even in these ordinary moments, the presence of the gods was never far away. Every meal began with a prayer, every journey with an offering, every birth and death marked by ritual. The royal palace was a world unto itself, a labyrinth of corridors and courtyards where power and intrigue danced a dangerous waltz. The king's advisors plotted and schemed, each seeking favor with the priests or the gods. Royal scribes recorded every omen, every dream, every sign from the heavens, their tablets stored in secret archives deep within the palace. The queen, often a powerful figure in her own right, presided over ceremonies and acted as a bridge between the royal family and the priesthood. Festivals were the heartbeat of Hittite society, moments when the entire city came together to honor the gods. The most important was the spring festival, a time of renewal and hope. Processions wound through the streets, led by priests carrying sacred statues and relics. Music filled the air, and the people feasted and danced late into the night. But even in celebration, there was an undercurrent of anxiety, a sense that the favor of the gods could be lost at any moment, plunging the city into chaos. The Hittites believed that their fate was written in the stars, that every event was part of a grand cosmic design. Astrologers watched the night sky for omens, interpreting the movements of the planets and the appearance of comets as messages from the divine. When disaster struck, a drought, a plague, an enemy at the gates, the priests would search for answers in the heavens, performing rituals to restore balance and harmony. Yet, for all their efforts, the mysteries of the universe remained elusive. The priests guarded their secrets jealously, passing down their knowledge only to a chosen few. Some say that hidden deep within the temples of Hattusa were scrolls containing forbidden knowledge, spells, prophecies, and instructions for rituals too dangerous to perform. Others believe that the true power of the Hittites lay not in their armies or their wealth, but in their ability to harness the unseen forces that shaped their world. In the quiet hours before dawn, as the city slept, the priests would gather in the inner sanctum of the great temple. There, surrounded by flickering candles and the scent of sacred herbs, they would commune with the gods, seeking guidance for the challenges to come. Their prayers, whispered in a language known only to the initiated, rose into the darkness, carrying hopes and fears, dreams and secrets. The world of the Hittites was one of contrasts. Light and shadow, faith and fear, power and vulnerability. It was a world where the boundaries between the mortal and the divine were blurred, where every moment was touched by mystery, and where the greatest secrets were hidden in plain sight, waiting for those bold enough to seek them. As the first light of dawn crept over the mighty walls of Hattusa, the city slowly awakened from its world of shadows. Yet, even in daylight, the mysteries of the Hittite capital did not fade. They simply changed form. The city's heartbeat was a rhythm of rituals, secrets, and silent power struggles, woven into every aspect of daily life. In the bustling markets, merchants from distant lands haggled over rare goods. Copper from the mountains, lapis lazuli from far-off Afghanistan, and spices whose scents hinted at worlds beyond the horizon. The people of Hattusa were a tapestry of cultures. Anatolian farmers, foreign traders, artisans, and slaves, all living under the watchful eyes of the gods and the ever-present authority of the king. Every transaction, every greeting, every meal was touched by ritual. Offerings of bread and wine were made to household deities, and even the simplest craftsman's workshop had a small altar, a reminder that the divine was never far away. The royal palace, perched atop the city's highest hill, was a labyrinth of intrigue. Here, the king presided over councils of war and peace, surrounded by advisors, generals, and scribes. The queen, often as influential as the king himself, played a crucial role in religious ceremonies and diplomatic affairs. Behind closed doors, alliances were forged and broken, secrets traded like precious gems. The palace was also home to the archives, vast collections of clay tablets inscribed with the history, laws, and prophecies of the empire. These records, guarded by elite scribes, were the memory of the Hittites, a treasure trove of knowledge and a source of power for those who could read their secrets. But the true heart of Hattusa's mystery lay in its temples and sacred spaces. The great temple, dedicated to the storm god Tarhunt and the sun goddess Arena, was the spiritual center of the empire. Here, priests and priestesses performed elaborate rituals, their chants rising in unison as incense curled toward the heavens. The rituals were complex, blending ancient traditions with new influences from conquered peoples. Some ceremonies were public, grand spectacles meant to unite the city and display the power of the gods. Others were hidden, performed in secret chambers deep within the temple, attended only by the highest initiates. It was whispered that these secret rituals held the key to the Hittites' power. Some believed that the priests could communicate directly with the gods, receiving visions and prophecies that guided the fate of the empire. Others spoke of darker practices, sacrifices, blood rituals, and attempts to harness supernatural forces. There were tales of priests who vanished after delving too deeply into forbidden knowledge, and of relics so powerful that they were locked away, never to be seen by mortal eyes. The boundaries between the sacred and the profane were blurred in Hattusa. Festivals and processions filled the streets with music and color, but always with an undercurrent of anxiety. The people believed that the gods were unpredictable, their favor fleeting. A sudden storm, a failed harvest, or a strange omen could send the city into a frenzy of ritual and sacrifice. The priest interpreted every sign, every dream, every unusual event as a message from the divine. Their power was immense, but so was their burden. For a single mistake could bring disaster upon the entire kingdom. Beneath the city, a network of tunnels and chambers added another layer of mystery. Some were used for storage or as escape routes in times of siege, but others had more enigmatic purposes. Archaeologists have found evidence of underground sanctuaries, places where secret rites were performed far from prying eyes. In these shadowy depths, the line between this world and the next seemed to blur. Some believe that the tunnels were gateways to the underworld, passages through which the souls of the dead could return, or where the living could seek forbidden wisdom. The Hittites' relationship with death was complex and filled with ritual. Funerary practices varied according to status and tradition, but all shared a deep reverence for the journey of the soul. Kings and nobles were buried with treasures and offerings, their tombs sealed with curses meant to protect them from intruders. Commoners were laid to rest with simple rites, but always with prayers to guide them safely to the afterlife. The fear of restless spirits was ever present, and many households kept amulets or performed rituals to ward off the influence of the dead. The city's scribes, among the most respected members of society, played a crucial role in preserving the empire's secrets. They recorded everything, from royal decrees and treaties to omens, dreams, and the outcomes of rituals. Their tablets, written in the intricate cuneiform script, were both a record and a tool of power. Knowledge was closely guarded, passed down through generations of scribes and priests. Some tablets contain instructions for rituals so dangerous that only a select few were allowed to read them. Others held prophecies, warnings of disaster, or instructions for summoning the favor or the wrath of the gods. The Hittites were also masters of diplomacy and espionage. Their envoys traveled to distant courts, bearing gifts and negotiating alliances. Spies moved through the markets and taverns, gathering information and spreading rumors. The empire's survival depended as much on cunning and intelligence as on military might. Treaties were sealed with oaths to the gods, and breaking them was believed to bring divine retribution. Yet, betrayal was always a possibility, and the threat of treachery hung over every negotiation. Despite the ever-present tension, life in Hattusa could be vibrant and joyful. Children played in the courtyards, artisans displayed their crafts, and storytellers recounted the legends of gods and heroes. The city was a crossroads of cultures, where ideas and traditions mingled freely. Foreign visitors brought new fashions, foods, and beliefs, enriching the tapestry of Hittite society. Yet, beneath the surface, the sense of mystery and the fear of the unknown never truly disappeared. The Hittites' fascination with the stars was another source of wonder and anxiety. Astronomers observed the heavens from the city's towers, charting the movements of planets and stars. Eclipses, comets, and unusual celestial events were interpreted as omens, their meanings debated by priests and scholars. Some believed that the gods themselves dwelled among the stars, watching over the world and intervening in human affairs. The connection between the heavens and the fate of the empire was a constant theme in Hittite thought, reflected in their rituals, myths, and art. As the day faded and the city prepared for another night, the cycle of ritual and mystery began anew. Torches flickered in the temples, priests donned their ceremonial robes, and the people of Hattusa offered prayers for protection and prosperity. The boundaries between the mortal and the divine, the known and the unknown, remained as thin as ever. In every shadow, in every whispered prayer, the secrets of the Hittite Empire endured, waiting for those bold enough to seek them, and for the day when the mysteries of Hattusa would finally be revealed.